how were you all pushed into ideas by the unions? Were they very much influencing everybody?
So make no mistake. I mean, this city is very fire union, and police union driven, and it is also very land developer driven. And so the rules, like the TERSs, that the Killam's received, um, and the you know contracts the police union got, and the uh, the increase in pay fire union got, those were all voted in favor for by those special interests. Those special interests are the ones that participate in elections, and those are the ones that donate to the campaigns. And so, um, if you go down the list of who donated to who, you'll see prominently those three players: land developers. You'll see the fire union, and the police union. And if you go look at the individuals that are donating, there are individuals within those three areas that are really pumping money into the campaign coffers, elected officials. And so the rules, the projects are all being very much written in their favor, right or wrong, you agree with all of that or not. That's just a fact.
And then you wipe out this union control narrative that's going on there. That's the story.
I mean, that's it's kind of like that right now if you think about it, because the city council members are designated people to be able to vote, right? So they're basically voting on our behalf. The problem is, to your point, is they're being handled. We can't. Can we trust that vote anymore?
But I will say this to your point about the bureaucrats and the folks that you mentioned the PACMs and how typically they allow things to fester. At the end of the day, they execute the policy of execute the will of the council. So how do you hold the bureaucracy accountable, the city manager accountable, when you have a board council who says, okay, I've got fish to fry. That's not a big deal. I'm not going to fix that problem. You know what? That doesn't rise to my level. It rises to the level of the manager because it's a personnel issue, and council members should not be personnel. They are only responsible for the city manager. That's their role. They have a confirmation and a affirmation of dismissal for those directors that fall into that bracket. But they should, at that point, when they have an issue, go to the city manager. This is a problem you need to fix. Again, the buck stops with him. So when people say this bond, well, who forced it? The council could have said, you know what, we're not doing this. This doesn't. It's not time. We have concerns. We have questions. We delayed it. Instead it chose to go forward, with the exception of one council member. And to her credit, she's been personally vocal about her position on it. Professionally, she made her decision known, and she's done no more. But there are other council members I know that have questions. They have their doubts. The answers they got from management, I think, satisfied them well enough for them to say yes.
It's not that the people of Laredo don't think that there's a need. We just don't have the confidence in city government. And until that changes, we're not going to change our opinion.
And finish up with the PD. So that's one of the reasons why they pivoted the building the way they're suggesting they building. Do I agree that that's what they need? No. Do I think they still need to work out the details with the FAA and the airport? Yes. The training facility was not in the CIP. It hasn't been. And mainly because for the longest time, back in 2002, they cut the ribbon over at the Laredo International Law Enforcement Training Facility. The police department was a partner to the fire department to build that training facility because it lacks some funds, but if you could couple that with law enforcement.
They're they're just gonna, spend money with walkers for private water instead of developing our own emergency water plan. So they've already screwed that up royally. And now they're coming to us again saying, hey, look, I know we're working on that. Trust us, we'll get it right. But we want to max out another credit card too. And I mean, frankly, not only no, but hell no.
That lack of trust. I went to that meeting on Thursday, and I was the only civilian that was there. But I saw about 30 to 40 people from the 3 different unions. I spoke with everybody. A lot of them we know back and forth. But it was more, I was asked by the city manager if I wanted to hear the whole presentation or if they all can go home. And I said, let's go home, quit wasting time. Because I already know exactly where it's going. I know where everybody's at. This seems to be like a control of 3 different unions pushing for these, like you say, wants. It's not really needs, they're wants. Let's bring back the trust to Laredo. Right now, the trust is gone. If we look at elections, look what happened 2 years ago in the elections. The police were caught in voter fraud of the elections, and you want us to trust you all? Every time we see elections at the fire station here on Del Mar, there's always complaints about ballots being missing or the ballot box wasn't secured correctly. There's always those things going back and forth, and you're going to want us to trust you. And an election, you know what? Right now, they should be having the election at the college, or they should be having the election just downtown or at a hospital where they can actually secure those. And in the last, 8 years, the previous administration changed city managers 5 times, and finally we got the new one. They changed city attorney several times. In fact, one of them ran away from Laredo saying it was corruption. And
Yeah, shut up.
and we went to the police chief that was under investigation. He resigned. So we don't have that of a great, how can I say, A in grade of integrity in our city. Understand what I'm saying?
That we've definitely gone the wrong direction. And to your point earlier, like when I was in council, and sorry for just always going back to when I was there, right? But it's just the reality of the situation. We got accused of doing a lot of things that we were accused of. The crazy part is now a lot of the things that we were being accused of are actually happening now, and there's nobody, there's no watchdog groups, there's none of this other stuff going on. It was just like there was these groups just trying to paint this picture so that they can capture some seats, and those seats were captured, and they did exactly what we were being accused of.
And by the way, I mean, one of the real questions that hasn't been answered is, on whose land is this stuff going to get built on? Who are the winners? If I'm looking at this bond critically, I want to know who are the winners of this giant all-you-can-eat spending, bonanza buffet. And the winners are whoever is in the construction business right now. I mean, if you're think about like during COVID when former UISD trustee Rick Rodriguez didn't know a thing about sanitizing schools, but all of a sudden he gets a contract as a board member to come in and sanitize schools. Like, he was the winner of that.
I mean, people need to come out there and vote, and that's where you have the empathy of it. People know the old stories that if you didn't vote this way, or if you had a political sign of a different opponent that was running for the city, the inspector will come in there and give you a ticket. Or if you had it there, they'll come and harass you at your building or your business. Those things existed. We've seen that. We've experienced those things. And I hope that doesn't come back.
Well, I think it's still here. It's not going anywhere. And not only is it, I mean, it's here to stay. And I mean, I was there at the other town hall meeting a few days before the one that you attended, and I'm standing next to a city official, and he says, "Well, what do you think of the what do you think of bond?" And I told him I'm gonna start saving up for a condo in San Antonio. That's what I think of the bond.